everyone. Welcome to Pairfect. I'm Dinah Ventura.
I'm Jojo Silvestre, and today we have a very special guest. Our guest is always special, but this one is even more special.
Extra special.
Yes.
Okay.
You know why? She has two careers. She has two professions. She's the directress of her own school, the Claravall School of Dance, and she, all these years, has been practicing accountancy. She's a CPA. She passed it.
Oh, wow.
So may I introduce to you, actually, an old friend of ours, a family friend. In fact, she's as good as family to me. Miss Marilinda Claravall Yi. Hi, Malen.
Hi, good
Welcome to
afternoon.
Pairfect, Malen.
Thank you for having me.
So nice to meet one of Jojo's friends.
Yeah.
And
Oo.
family.
Alam mo, Jojo, your friends are so accomplished
Ah,
talaga.
syempre naman, kasi I also am accomplished.
Diba? So double job. And
Yeah.
how long have you been doing that?
Well, since years, over 50 years. Wow. Over
Yeah.
50 years.
Yeah.
So,
And you just didn't feel the years passing by, no?
No,
Parang
I
because you
didn't.
love what you do.
yes, in all the things that I do.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. How did you become interested in ballet? Why, for example, why did your parents, I suppose, they enrolled you in
Ballet.
school? So how did all that start?
When I was about 3.5 years old, my parents saw 2 or 3.5 when my dad would turn on his big radio, and when I hear the music, even if I was lying down or just drinking milk from the bottle, I would just stand up and start dancing to the tune and to the beat, and they observed that for several months. So when I turned 3.5, they enrolled me into the only ballet school at that time under Georgie Felix Velarde
Yes, the
and Sonny Lopez Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And that's where I started and never stopped.
Wow. She was dancing before she could walk.
Yes.
Ang
That is
galing.
the real example.
Before she could read, she could, unless
Or
she
talk.
read early.
I suppose you weren't really like a,
No, not
Diba?
yet,
Oh my
because
God.
my mom said I was very shy, so I was really dancing before I walked.
Who was the easier teacher? Was it Georgie? Who was sweeter? Who was nicer? Georgie or Sonny?
I couldn't compare that because at the time, they were always together. Georgie would sometimes teach and Sony would sometimes teach.
Ah,
So it
Sony,
was
okay.
really a partnership at that
Ah,
time.
really?
Yes. But I stayed just for a while there because after that, well, when I was about 10 years old,
Okay.
there was this British teacher who came to the Philippines and advertised that she has a school.
Okay.
And my sister and I, we were enrolled there,
Ah,
private lessons.
your sister.
Nila Claravall
Nila.
Gonzalez.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
see, how many were you in your family? You have
Dancing ballet.
Uh-huh.
Right now, we are two. Nila, who has a big school in Iloilo, and
Oh.
mine in Parañaque.
Parañaque.
I see.
Yeah.
So, what was the turning point when you finally decided that you wanted to make that your life?
Oh, it came naturally because since it was a continuous thing,
Okay.
I had to do time management while studying at St. Teresa's College, who had a very high standard. We were going to classes twice a week, but if we were not able to do our assignments, we won't go to ballet classes. So,
Oh.
so our parents used ballet as a carrot on a stick.
Carrot on a stick. Oh.
So
Okay.
that we had to achieve also in school, and we had to really try to achieve high grades.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, how was it like being with the nuns?
St. Teresa's College
Yeah.
is very strict disciplinarians. Intellectually,
Yeah.
they expect so much, and of course, most of us we had to try to achieve the standards It was a Belgian standard, even the discipline. So most of us in St. Teresa's ended up in the top colleges and universities,
yes.
and even corporations.
Yeah, that was really part of their training, no?
Our training, and we had to speak
Discipline.
perfect English.
Ah, yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Because they would count on us on speaking English. And there was a time when you make a mistake, you have to pay 5 centavos.
5 centavos.
You
Yes,
had to be
yes.
perfect.
Yeah, I remember when
Perfect.
when local schools really encouraged students
Yeah,
to
yeah.
speak straight English.
Yeah,
I think
And-
that was good training.
it's good
A
training.
medal was passed on to you if you spoke the
Yes.
local language.
Oh.
And what did the nuns have to say about you enrolled in ballet? There was a point when they did not approve of young ladies dancing ballet.
Yes. When the nuns found out that I was already dancing ballet at 5 years old, that was kindergarten.
Yes.
They were called. The nuns called my parents for a talk.
Okay.
Yes, and because they see that they find me in that outfit very scandalous, and therefore I must find another school for my education.
I see. Wow.
So Dad, with his charming ways, says, well, if you just get shocked about the outfit, then maybe we can continue with ballet, but we will not mention that my daughter is coming from St. Teresa's College. Thus and therefore,
Oh, that worked. That
it
they
worked.
accepted that.
And I continued ballet. In fact, they were the first supporters of putting up a ballet school in St. Teresa's Manila with Tita Radaich, who opened the school there. And then they opened it in Quezon City, where I too was the first assistant teacher of Tita Radaich at 14 years old.
Wow.
And my
Okay.
students were older than me, high
Really?
school. Yeah.
Oh.
So
okay.
my training as a teacher already started there. But before that, my dad opened a small ballet room in our house
Okay.
where I started training children in our area, that was the start of my social responsibility.
They were your scholars.
They were already my scholars, and my parents were watching me how I taught, because they saw that I had so much interest in teaching, especially to the young ones.
Also,
Ma-
what kind of teacher were you at that time?
Very strict, because my teachers were very strict.
Oh,
But then I learned to tone down,
Okay.
okay.
because it's different now.
When was your first public performance?
4 years old,
Oh, really?
I had a show, and in fact, I came out in the Sunday Times, my first exposure to
Wow.
magazine, with Joji and Sonny Lopez.
The three of you were.
I was there. I had a picture of that, but I can't find the picture. It's all black and white.
Oo.
Yeah.
Ito palang guest natin, sanay sa media.
Oh.
Oo, hindi natin siya masisindak.
Oh.
Pero
Hindi naman tayo ganun.
Hindi naman tayo ganun.
Hindi naman kayo nagsisindak. I'm enjoying our tay-tay.
Oh. Okay. So, but in college, you took up accounting.
I did,
So
because
why that choice?
I just ended up that way because when I was in high school, I told my parents I just really love ballet, and I really love piano. I really am the arts. So I said I don't want to go to college. I want to dance and teach. And my parents said, you don't take up college, we will not pay for your tuition fee in ballet.
I see.
Oh, gosh.
So I had to take it. I took exams in UP and St. Teresa's College.
Yes.
In UP, I wanted math.
Wow.
Math was one of my favorite subjects.
Wow.
Wow, that's so different, diba? Arts
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
math.
Yeah, and I passed.
How did you?
You passed.
No, I passed.
UP, UP.
UP, UPCAT,
Yeah.
in math.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. And when I came home, I said, I'm going to enroll in UP. Dad, you told me to. No, you're going to continue in St. Teresa's College. All girls school, no boys.
Okay.
Dad, there's no math there. Then you take accounting by my orders.
Oh my goodness.
That was in San Marcelino, no?
Quezon City.
Quezon City already.
He connected math and account
Oo.
as the same. Yeah, maybe, but
Not exactly.
not exactly. Because he said, in math, you'll end up a teacher, and a teacher is always poor. I said, oh, Dad. And then in accounting, probably you can be employed in big corporations and you will earn. So,
More
I said-
lucrative.
yeah, and I said, Dad, but I want to continue ballet. You were enrolled in ballet for your total development, but it's not going to be your life.
Oo.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
because
So when you were studying in college, you stopped the ballet?
no,
Okay.
because
How did you balance that? I mean, and
I
it's so
continue-
different, di ba?
yeah,
Yeah.
I in St. Teresa's, you're taught time management
Okay.
without saying it's time management, without having to say you do this, you do that. No, so all of us had so much thing to do, but it was this, that. So while I was in college, except when I took the CPA, then I stopped because
Oh yes. Full,
I will
full
not become a
focus.
CPA. You know, the carrot and the stick.
Okay.
Okay.
So you had to focus on that
Yes.
for that time, at that time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You know, she's like, in a way, she's like the father. Because the father was a chemist,
I see.
but he was also in poetry. He wrote
Ang
poems.
galing.
He
So
was also a
kaya-
writer.
He was
no?
a writer.
So
And he was
siguro-
also a pianist.
Yeah, so he saw that he could do those things,
Yeah.
still be a chemist and be
Yes.
well off.
I know. So it's
Yeah.
very different kasi, di ba? Parang most people, when they're in the arts, they can't
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
the
oo.
numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but
It's
it was
unusual.
yeah, I guess it's just like, you know, the talent was just it's just in there. So I'm able to move from here to there and there to here without even having to bat an eyelash, because I think it was also the training, my educational training. And also my parents'
Parents.
discipline.
Right.
These are the two.
Hindi ko na sasabihin na mataas ang IQ niya.
oo. Wag
Given
na lang,
na
wag
yun.
na lang.
Ikaw si Jojo.
But you know, the nice part is you have not ended your life in ballet na ganun na lang. When you entered the world of accounting, you kept at ballet, no? And the nice part is she's now the directress of the Claravall School of Dance.
Wow.
So tell us about this. What made you decide to put up a school?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And when was this?
Long ago and far away, 50 years ago, but I became so serious about
years ago.
I became so serious about this when I moved to Parañaque,
When was
when I
this?
got married to my late husband.
When was this?
That was in I became really serious, like following like 1985.
Oh, ang tagal na.
Yes, because I thought, since I was starting my married life, and I said I need to continue what my heart desires. It's like it's a beckoning. It beckons me.
Right.
In Monday to Friday, I'm at work. On Saturday, I need to do
You need
my
it.
artistic
Okay.
tendency. It was a calling.
Okay.
It's
So,
there in your heart.
how has it been like all these 50 years? What awards, what performances, what are you proud of? As a
Well, I'm so
directress?
very proud of the achievements of the school, because I have presented a lot of shows at the main theater of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, at Theater at Soler,
Yes.
at and as a registered teacher of the Royal Academy of Dancing, I've sent over 1,000 students to take the RAD exam, which is recognized internationally in almost 90 countries.
Okay.
It is like it's like a certification that
Says.
it says that you are ready to do the next level until you finished advanced 2. It starts with primary to advanced 2, which up to now I am still doing, because that is my goal, to be able to uh, make these students realize the capabilities and use the other side of the brain. While they, like me, they can become more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ganda. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what about your teaching at the British School
Yes.
in Manila?
Yeah, when I taught at British, I taught for 22 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're no longer teaching there now?
No more. The arrangement with the British School Manila was more of an autonomous situation. It was a partnership.
Okay.
I was not an employee. No. So I come in, I do what I have to do as a ballet teacher. So they allowed me. So it was a really beautiful arrangement, and the management was really, really very supportive. So when I have shows, I would present these ballet students, and we would have a ballet assembly. Can you imagine a ballet assembly? They call all the students and watch these ballet students. Although it's not credited in their PE, but it has become something like for the enhancement of personality, for the development of the children to be secure of themselves. It's not only here. So at the time, it was, I had 3 performances every year to present these students, and I really enjoyed it because the students are the teachers, and it became an entertainment show, and they looked forward to it. But those 22 years were over because everything changed after the COVID.
So up to the COVID, even up to before the COVID, you were still teaching.
Yes, in fact, during the COVID, I still had online teaching, and they came, and I continued with them. But then when face-to-face came in, the structures have been totally changed, like no more.
Okay,
It has totally changed. So I told myself, maybe it's time to go. 22 years is 22
time,
years. And it was beautiful while it lasted.
Many are foreign students.
Yes,
no?
they're mostly foreign. Yes.
How was it like teaching them?
Oh, it was easy because it's the same, only that the way you have British, you have British Chinese, you have British
Yes.
Hong Kong, you have
Singapore.
Singapore, you have you have Filipinos there too,
India, British India.
British India. So I get a standard where I can adjust myself and understand where they're coming from. It was easy because children are the same everywhere.
Okay.
That's true, no?
You know, I'm so interested in this Royal Academy of Dance.
Yeah.
What is this all about, and what do you do for this institution? What is your role in the Philippines?
Oh, what is the Royal Academy of Dance? It's really a guide. It's one of the academies that sets standards of teaching proper ballet.
Okay, there's proper ballet.
Yes.
As opposed to...
No, I'm not
Basta.
gonna compare because my sister and I, Neil and I, we were enrolled with Heather Liodra, and I was 12. I was 12. Neil was 10, and we were introduced to the proper training. It's like a school, kinder, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So you just cannot just dance and follow. You know, the present that you have, the hip hop and all, you can just.
Is that your sister?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those are the Philippine Ballet Theater board of directors. Okay. So in RAD, so I became a member for the longest time with my sister, who is we give exams, and the exams are conducted by the Royal Academy of Dance representative who come here.
They visit the Philippines?
Yes,
for
and
that?
look at our students, and they grade the students
Based on their
based on the
standard.
standards. So there's such a thing as primary, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to advanced 2. It's like K-12.
Have the kids been passing?
Yes, and with honors, with
Wow.
distinction,
Wow.
with distinction. So I have students who have reached really high standards and have competed abroad, and are now, some of my students are now dancing with the Philippine Ballet Theater. They become members. So when my students finish, and I know that I will be very proud of them. So they get accepted to become members of the Philippine Ballet Theater, the classical ballet company. So that is my role there. And as our AD representative, there are 12 teachers in the Philippines, 12, 15.
Yeah, only.
Yeah, we cannot go any higher because the standards are so strict, because you have
So
to learn.
high.
It's and very expensive
To
to become
a teacher.
a Royal Academy of Dance registered teacher. It's so expensive.
You know, I'm curious about how you keep fit, huh? At your, well, you're not old, you're young, but you know, youth is all over you. No? Now let's talk about that after this
After
commercial
this
break.
commercial break, we'll be right back.
With Globe, our steps can lead us to millions of doors opening, millions of paths unfolding, and millions of reasons to keep going. Now's the time to be with a network that gets better every day for you.
Fiber is the free and secure way to connect with friends and family, anywhere. Send messages and make phone and video calls for free. Download Viber now.
Iba ng panahon, ang dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Untian mo bayan, bigger, better na. You can buy it sa centers, pati sa mga partners, may online pa at app. You can buy it with your fingers, still don't remittance and more. Online shopping, you can buy it all. Di magpadala, you can buy it all. Ano mang pera transaction, you can buy it all.
Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayan.
Struggle! I can't receive payments now.
There is no more!
Upgrade your receiving limits with UB. No limits,
kaya your hustle goes on. Download Union Bank online now.
We're back on Pairfect, and our guest is Miss Marilinda Claravall. And I was asking her why she is so sexy. How has she kept
Figure.
her 35, 25, 35 figure? But before that, she would have been Miss Universe, you know.
Oo nga.
But before that, I'm just curious about how one becomes a RAD, Royal Academy of Dance teacher. And is there a license or?
Yes, becoming a Royal Academy of Dance registered teacher requires a lot of things. Number one, the knowledge of the syllabus. It's like K-12. It starts with primary to advanced 2. And then after that, if you want to continue to become a RAD teacher, you have to take the Certificate of Ballet Teaching Studies. where
Which you
I-
did.
Which I did, and I was one. Later on, I became a tutor to the students abroad. They online.
Wow.
I was But anyway, that's
Who were you
another-
under? Was it Tita Radach?
No,
Who
no,
taught you to become an
A RAD.
RAD teacher? Yeah.
No, it was already Royal Academy of Dance, London.
Ah, really?
Yeah, the connection.
They came here to
No,
online.
we had an exam,
Okay.
and we wanted to become a RAD teacher, so we were given like a seminar and an exam, and gladly we passed it.
Ah,
The one who
okay.
conducted was from RAD London.
Okay.
That was a 1-week training and
okay.
Intense.
intense.
Where was
Sure.
it? Here.
It was here in the
Ah,
Philippines.
okay. Oh, it's good they came.
Because that is the arrangement, because how many were we? If we were going to London, it's more expensive than only one coming here. There was an arrangement, and there was always, it was either through the British Council under the British Embassy.
I see.
Ah, yes. yes
So
yes.
that was the coordination.
Okay.
So, okay.
So let's talk about
Already?
how come you're still so voluptuous,
I am.
so sexy.
I don't
Is it part of? It's because you've been training. You've been.
I think it's because while I teach, I dance myself. I don't sit down because it's different when you just say and talk. And it's different, which is a requirement of as a registered teacher that you're supposed to show how to do it. So up to now, even if I explain in French terms, I stand up, I portray, I show it to them.
Okay.
So I still dance up to now, up to advanced 2 level, which is the hardest. But up to
Grabe.
up to adage, no more jumps.
Adage.
It's
no
bad
more
for
jumps.
it's bad for
Okay,
the
yeah.
knees. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So.
I'd
No
love to see
wonder,
her
yeah.
in class.
And there's something else. There are adult students.
there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, adult students and also the scholars which I started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the adults. How it started is because I wasn't really thinking about putting up for until some of my friends say, please, just for let us learn even just a little. So I did online.
Galing.
So I did, and I presented them in an online show.
Really?
Live and Celebrate.
Was
And
this during the pandemic?
during the pandemic?
see.
During the pandemic, I was really like a bit depressed
I see.
because the love of teaching was suddenly cut. I don't see the kids, and there's nothing that we can do because nobody wants to go out.
Right. So one day everything just stopped.
It just
Yeah.
stopped. The world stopped. It was difficult.
Okay. So how did you handle that?
Well, I took stock. I kept quiet for 6 months.
Oh wow.
Siyempre, no?
I kept quiet for 6 months, and I was looking at how is the world gonna end this way. So one of my students said, Teacher Malen, why don't we go online?
Oo.
You have your studio. We can turn on the
Oo nga.
why not?
Camera.
I said, and so I did.
Mm.
And they came back, and I
Online.
became like happy. I see students. That's my adrenaline when I see
Your students.
students, kids. I love kids.
Mhm.
And when I see older girls like who have finished and say, Teacher Malen, can I teach for you? It gives me that
Wow.
satisfaction. So it gives me so much satisfaction that I've seen children who've been developed to become teachers and now asking if they could,
Teach for you.
Yeah.
I'm curious about you. I'm sure you've taught hundreds of students already. Can you tell us more about those who pursued ballet and became a success on stage?
Success on stage. All right. Let me tell you, once a kid starts in my school at 4, they will end up with me at 19 to 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
That's how long ballet is. And one of them I have right now at the tip of my head is Kim Abrahena.
Okay.
Kim Abrahena was a distinction student. She started at 7, and she continued her dance, and we competed in Genève because she was already semi-finalist. We went to New Zealand. That is the Genève. That is the RAD competition of students who reach a certain level of expertise, a certain grade.
Okay. So she competed there.
She competed. She would be the second Filipino
Wow. To qualify.
to qualify. Second
Okay,
Filipino.
okay, yeah.
So when we went there, just alone by that fact that we were able to get
Yes.
in and perform
Yes.
in a stage with different nationalities. You could hear a pin drop when Kim was dancing to the tune of the Filipino music. Was it? I cannot recall now, but she was the first.
So it was Filipinos music that you used.
I'm sorry, I cannot recall now.
Galing.
Yeah. So, Kataas Balahibo.
Oh.
And then we were, everybody was like, she's a Filipino. Yes, even the skin color.
Yeah.
So, after that, even the ambassador, Philippine ambassador.
Oh, wow. He was,
Commended.
I'm sure.
There were a lot of newspaper write-ups because there are a lot of
Oh.
Filipinos. That's Kim. And from Kim, she came back. She became the soloist of Philippine Ballet Theater.
Oh, okay.
And she's been doing very, very beautiful roles. And then, by the way, Kim is also, I think, magna summa cum laude
Wow.
de la Salle. Yes.
Oh.
And then, during this COVID, during this pandemic, there was a, she moved to PBT, to Ballet Philippines, but just for a contract because there was not much redoing. Now, she has decided to move on and go to Canada and to find her future there.
Okay.
Then there's another one, Joni Galeste. She also was, Kim Abrahena was #1 in the CCP competition here in 2016, I think.
Very good.
Yeah. And then Joni also, she achieved, she became, I think, one of the finalists. She was a finalist of CCP solo variation competition here. But Joni wanted very different kinds of life, but so she teaches, she goes mountain climbing, she's into environment, she's into
Okay.
acting, she's into singing, but then at the end she goes back to ballet.
Okay.
She became also a soloist of Philippine Ballet Theater.
Oh.
But now she is now part of Ballet Philippines Copilla. She went back
Okay.
because when that love pulls you back,
Yeah.
you know,
Iba
pulls
talaga
you,
ang
Okay.
ballet.
it pulls you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's another one, Dinah Galicia. She also, these are the present because I have a lot who have put up ballet schools abroad.
Okay. Former students.
Former
also.
students who write me. And then Dinah Galicia is now abroad.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I have another question. Sorry. Is it hard to get into your ballet school?
No, it's easy. They just come, they just call me, and Claravall School of Dance, they just type Claravall School of Dance message, and I always give free trial class.
I see.
Ah,
So they
okay.
can try
Try, yeah.
try
Can I
first.
attend?
Sure, I need boys.
Alvin!
May I-
Alvin! Because he dances.
I need boys.
Ang tangkad pa.
I need boys. I need tall boys.
Just for a production this Christmas or
I have a production
Let's
that's
let's do
coming.
a trial
Oh,
for
oh.
the boys.
Yes,
Oo.
I need that because I have a show in August.
Okay.
So, what's the latest about the Philippine Ballet Theater?
Oh,
You're the
corporate secretary
Yeah.
and a member of the artistic council. Right now, Philippine Ballet Theater is in Bacolod, performing Ibalon and
Wow.
yeah, Ibalon is Ibalon and
That's Bicolano.
Yeah.
exactly they're
Yes.
going to Bicol.
Wow.
So now they're in Bacolod. Then our first show is Ibalon in Samsung Theater, July 28 and 29. Mark the date, please.
Oh, don't forget our tickets.
Yeah, we will. I'll give you tickets. It's a beautiful show, so you better watch. And then the main shows. Our main show. The next one is Music in Motion.
Wow.
That is with Raul Sunico playing in the piano live.
Wow.
That's PBT.
Philippine Ballet Theater with Rudolph Goles as the second pianist from Cagayan de Oro. And of course, the songs of Jose Marichan.
I
Wow.
see. Nice.
Alvin should be part of that, ha? Kahit na walk-on part lang.
That will be on September 1 and 2, and that will be, let me see, Resorts World.
I see.
Okay. Tickets.
Yes, and then mark the dates.
What have you noticed people watching ballet more now compared to before?
I think so. Because, the cabin fever where everybody was all cooped up. People want to go out and see
Watch the
Watch
shows,
shows.
watch quality shows.
quality shows. And our last performance for PBT would be Nutcracker. And that will be at the Theater at Soler.
Okay, for this year.
For this year, that will be in December.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah,
Soler,
I
okay.
think that will be December 10 to I'm not really, we will just announce, but that will be December 15 to 17.
Okay. Hi, Tita Marilu. Your board secretary is with us.
I've always wondered, what is it about learning in ballet school that's different from just learning in ordinary schools? What do your students come out with after they've stayed or learned in ballet school?
In my ballet school, for that matter. Because, again, since this is a training of not only the steps, but of the mind, the understanding of the body, the understanding of how you should look, the understanding of the emotions, the understanding of your maturity, and your expression, and that is taught while you're young. And that is our AD, because in the syllabus, it's not just steps. It's like, how do you sit up? We take time. We take so much time, because there's a standard that is needed to be achieved once the examiner comes.
Okay, scary.
Okay. We're almost winding up, but before we move toward the end of this very nice episode, I'd like to ask you something, because you have raised successful children and you were widowed early. How did you do that? You're a superwoman.
You're so into so many things, di ba?
Oh.
And raising children.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had probably it's
Briefly, huh?
briefly. Probably it's because my parents, the way my parents reared me up, and I was an obedient child. That's one thing.
okay.
I was listening to all the advices of my parents.
Alvin.
I never went against their wishes. And my education in St. Teresa's College, and my always fear for the Lord, and always the Catholic education was first and foremost. So everything was there, and the Lord will just send me groups, I had a lot of groups to support me. And then the Lord provided me with offers of jobs in the corporate world. I didn't even apply. It just comes in.
What? Manila Bank, Loyola?
Loyola, Philcraft, it just came in. It was like, here, you take it. And then even the British school I didn't apply. They just gave a card.
God talaga.
God.
It's like, it's
Grace.
it's the grace and the blessing. And that's what I would like to give a message, that if you want to have a successful life, so first, listen to your parents. Be obedient. Honor them, because that is what is required. And then look at your education and background, and always think of the fear of God, because this is a temporary world. We just use all our
Good lesson.
talents.
Yeah.
It's nice to remind people of that.
The young
because,
ones
yeah.
especially.
Be obedient, Alvin.
Listen to your parents.
To your mom.
Okay, so, ang ganda nun,
Yeah.
Jojo.
So, let's ask her advice.
Oo. So, what would you advise young people now who want to get into ballet also? And
Okay.
perhaps make a career out of it.
Make a cue.
Or not.
Right now, as you see the onset of AI,
Yes.
you know, everybody's like that,
Yeah.
okay? And parents are getting angry because you're like that. And their eyes are really getting so, you know, unhealthy. And there's no one is really looking beyond. So it's not only, I would like to advise the parents.
All right.
It's the parents who should go out of their way to be able to check what their children, what their needs are, what their talents are. And it's right now the parents' responsibility to go out of their way to see where the children could excel. It's like my parents. They saw, and they saw, and they helped, and they really pushed me.
So it's really the parents, they should give more time, pay more attention.
Pay more attention, and that is my advice to the parents, because the parents are now also as busy with their work and as busy with this.
You know, I should have met you before.
Me
Because,
too.
you know, my dream as a child, I wanted to become a ballet dancer. Kasi
mentioned
may
that
figurine sa bahay. And I would look at it. So
And
either I
imagine.
was going to be a ballet dancer or a folk dancer. But too bad my parents are not your parents. But
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I am today. But it would have been a nice
It's
Right.
not too
career.
late. I need somebody to walk across the stage as the king.
Pwede
For
ka
my
ba?
show, Sleeping
Alvin,
Beauty.
let's go.
You can be the
Yeah, I have a show at Sleeping Beauty, and I need the parents. Oh, di ba?
Oh, sige. Oh.
Di ba?
It just might come true, your
Yeah.
dream to be in a ballet
Yeah.
production.
I'll fill up half of the auditorium.
Okay. So, when you teach at your ito na last words na to for
Yes,
the
yes.
lesson for kids, for children, because you teach them, you have them starting at 4, when they're 4, and then when they grow up
Onwards.
with you. So, what is the core message that you want to impart to your students? Like, every time they leave, what do you want them to take away with them from your school?
No, you mean it's my whole self given to them for these years, but they know I already impart at the start. It's discipline. He will listen to teacher.
Okay.
It's determination. No matter how hard it is, you must finish. Then at the end, you must be able to find enjoyment. If you do not enjoy, then maybe think about it if you want to continue.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So
Parang life din talaga.
it's really life. It's
Okay, that was very nice.
Okay.
So yes, thank you very
Okay,
much,
yeah.
Miss
It's-
Malin.
It was a pleasure being with Miss Marilinda Claravall. And really, we learned a lot from you, and we were inspired by your success and by your sharing with other people. She also has a very good social responsibility program right in her school. And so with that, we say thank you to Miss Malin, Malen.
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 Malen. And it's been a pleasure. This has been Pairfect. I'm Jojo Silvestre.
I'm Dinah Ventura. Thank you for joining us.